To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to FreshBaked Disney, the best of Disney, baked fresh daily. I'm your host, David. That's my wife, Liz. That's Ian over there. We're walking down Main Street at Disneyland on a Saturday afternoon, and we couldn't be happier to be here to bring to you this show that we're going to bring to you today. Now, today, what we're trying to do, and there's the guys, we just had the 64th birthday of Disneyland. What we're going to try to do is do a little, we're going to go back to Fantasyland. We're going to go back in time to Fantasyland and enjoy some of the attractions that were here on opening day. Talk to you a little bit about how things looked in Fantasyland, what kind of attractions, weren't there or where they used to be. Guys, did you know? I can't even express to you how awkward and peculiar the setup used to be in Fantasyland. So we're gonna talk about that in a minute. For now, let's go right through that castle and into Fantasyland. Now we're going to enter a world of fantasy. Opening day at Disneyland 64 years ago did not look like we see today, although it was really, really crowded, just like it is now. I've seen some vintage photos of crowds at Disneyland. It would blow your mind. You think it's like it was, this is always as busy as it's ever been. Man, like there was definite crowds here.
Everyone was here.
Ian, would it surprise you to learn or to know that carousel used to be right there?
No, because I didn't know that.
I know.
Wait,
No, we're not.
where?
It used to be further this way.
It was right here in front of Peter Pan.
Yeah, because remember, these big facades weren't here. Instead,
Yeah.
it was more like
It was
Castle Fair
it was
tents.
flat. Yeah.
The facades are more like Castle Fair tents.
That's another thing that I hadn't even planned on getting into, but thank you for reminding me. Like you just said,
These facades were added in 83.
you feel like this was always
Yeah,
here.
it was 83 with New Fantasyland.
Yeah, New Fantasyland in 83. These facades are new. These facades are only 30x years old. I can't do the math in my head right now. 36?
Yes.
36 years old.
I mean, that's still fairly old.
Right, but
That's actually over half the park's life at this point.
But
So-
this space here wasn't there. All that at Peter Pan was just a flat facade, like old like you said, like kind of Renaissance.
Ren Fair tents.
Ren Fair tents. Yeah, fascinating. So you could have squeezed in.
Yeah, that's
carousel right here.
That's how there would have been room for it.
Yeah, because today you try to put that here now? Are you kidding
That
me?
would be horrible.
We couldn't fit a single stroller through there. All right, so if the carousel wasn't here on opening day, let's see if Liz, if the carousel wasn't there, what was right here?
The teacups, right?
The
It's kind of
teacups.
two things.
Yes.
And Dumbo.
Well, Dumbo was kind of that way a little bit, I think, wasn't it?
Both of those, I believe, from what I've seen, were off-center behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of this and Dumbo in line with each other,
Right.
Carousel was further forward. You had Dumbo and the teacups
Yeah.
paralleling it behind it.
That's wild too, to having the teacups right here, because we always think that's where they've always been. And by the way, so again, go back to some vintage photos. They are completely exposed back in the day, as was a lot of Disneyland. Completely exposed. There was none of that. There was no coverage, no tree coverage, none of the teacup or the little lanterns or anything like that.
As I said before, trees take time to grow.
They sure do.
Plant them, but they're going to be shady.
They sure do, and but it's. I wonder how guests in 1955 Disneyland survived the heat. I sometimes feel like we forget that it's gone through so much in the 60 plus years it's been around. A lot of growth, a lot of like you said, all of that did not exist in 1955. Neither did that.
And when they did that remodel, they gutted the interiors completely.
Right?
Also, they're supposed to not even proper construction walls up, which is a trip.
Yeah.
When they were doing it, there was a walkway through a construction zone.
They didn't hide it like they used to,
Yeah.
or they do now.
Yeah, and again, the buildings were gutted, which is just wow.
Yeah. Hey, I have an idea. Before we continue, Liz, do you want to go ride Snow White?
Yeah.
That sound fun?
Yeah.
That was here.
Who's here?
Snow White.
She's here?
In 1955.
I can go see her right now.
Yeah. And evil queen.
Oh, then we gotta go.
And her apples.
There. I love me some apples and stuff. Wait, are they poison or are they okay?
No, they're fine. They're fine. They're sweet, delicious apples. You can make a pie out of them.
Can I eat this apple?
Yes. No. You can't because it's actually made of bronze.
On the skin, the symbol of what lies within. Watch your children and beware any apples. Alerta con la malvada reina. Soon I'll be fairest in the land. Magic mirror on the wall. Have a juicy apple.
You know, 64 years later, a Snow White dark ride, as far as dark rides go, is just about perfection. I don't know what it is about that one that I still love today. I mean,
I think it is due for an upgrade.
well, certainly in the way like Peter Pan.
Not change, just upgrade.
Right.
Some TLC.
A little, well, something like the Peter Pan or Alice type
Yeah.
stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, where you're not fundamentally changing scenes, you're just upgrading effects.
But what is it about those old dark rides? I know, dork rides. Like when they don't make them like that anymore, obviously.
Well, no, because everything has to be big and the fanciest tech. And
Look at how big the Little Mermaid building is.
Yeah.
I don't feel like,
For other reasons.
well, there's that too, but I don't feel like we're getting that much better show.
Well, that right also is just because instead of moving through scenes, you're moving around the edge of them. You're
True.
almost never actually going through a scene. You're
You know,
always,
that's an interesting observation.
that was something I saw Andy point out on Twitter once. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Most of these you are going through these.
You are.
Whereas something like that, like the mermaid one, you're always going around the edges and watching it from the side. You're never actually going through it.
You kind of go through it during the under the sea part.
a little bit, but
Yeah.
then you're right back against the wall again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
And these all put you in it.
Especially like when you walk the first part when you go into Snow White, when you're in her cottage.
Yeah.
Like you drive right through her living room.
Well, because the original premise, these are supposed to be that you're the character.
Exactly,
So
right.
Snow White didn't appear in the ride, but
Right.
just got confused. Like, wait, if this is Snow White's ride, where is she? They didn't get that you were playing out the story. So they same with Pan as well. So they're like, okay, we're gonna have to put the character in here.
And like they often did back in the day, they aired a little bit more on the scary side.
Yeah.
And they needed Snow to smooth it out a little bit, make it a little bit more, friendly.
Though with Toads, you are still essentially fulfilling the role of Toad.
Yes.
It's not appear. You are Toad on the Wild Ride to nowhere in particular.
And now I would like to nominate Ian for King of the Segway today because that's where we're going next. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
For the record, I didn't even know.
I know, you nailed it.
Nailed it.
En las manos, brazos, pies y piernas de todo.
You know, it's funny, having just ridden Mr. Toad's just now, and I was saying before about Snow White how it's almost perfection. It's weird that I just walked out and like, can I go again?
Toads is so good.
Toads is so good. And you know, there are people out there who will fight you if you tell them they're going to get rid of Toads for something else in
Yeah, that
Fantasyland.
happened in Florida.
I know, I know.
Toad in Florida?
Yes, for poo.
I mean, I love Winnie the Pooh, but oh dear.
Again,
Yeah, and not even the good poo, not even the trackless poo, but just a regular poo like ours, kinda.
yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, they had the technology for the trackless already, right?
It was in the development, definitely the same. Technically, Tokyo's opened after, but it was close enough. They had to have been in development,
Right.
overlapping at some point. And they said, no, we're gonna keep this one.
It makes you wonder just what are you doing? What are you doing?
Wow, that's really sad.
But Mr. Toad's, I mean, it is, okay, you didn't realize that this attraction is OG, that it's 64 years old.
It still holds up.
Holds up.
It really does.
But I've got some scary news for you. I got my ears to the ground a little bit, and there is a Fantasyland refurb coming. And somebody said, now don't freak out if you see toads behind construction walls. Because the tech is 64 years old. It needs love. It's dying a little bit.
Andy is running on like Windows 95 right now.
Yeah, right.
Slightly before it actually opened in 95. Like, there's a lot of rides here. You don't realize how old the computer system operating it actually is.
I love Mr. Toad's. I love everything about it.
If they added a finale because they needed one, because that whole hell scene isn't in Wind in the Willows.
No, it's not.
They added it for the ride. And I have to assume because they felt the ride needed some sort of climactic finale.
Let's take a minute.
Because there's no villain. They just needed something that's
there is. It's the pub guy.
It's the pub guy.
It's Mr. Winky or whatever the heck his name is. I forget his name.
Well, the point is like they needed some sort of like finale for the ride. I'm assuming.
But let's take a minute, you and I. Let's sit down in the boardroom when they're talking about how are we going to make Toads give it a little bit that extra, give a little bit of that more. We need a way to polish this thing off. And then Jerry in script writing says,
what if you die, you go to hell, and then you see the judge is actually Satan, and he's a dragon.
And then there's that dragon.
And then you're done.
That goes crazy. That's crazy.
So weird, but I love it.
I love it. I don't care how weird it is.
It's the kind of weird that would never happen now. Because
you would never see this ride today.
Right.
Fantasyland, as it exists, they wouldn't build this today.
No.
Nothing. They would build it, but all of that would just be one giant attraction.
Yeah. Like, weird is good. Weird is memorable.
They don't.
Weird is nostalgic.
I mean, are we just going on this too much? They don't. What's wrong with the way they did it back then? All right, let's take a break. We're gonna go get some water, and then we're gonna wrap this up with one more stop. We're not gonna ride again. Well, we might do Dumbo. I don't know. We'll see.
Need some water and watermelon.
Now, one dark ride that we're not going to ride today, but we're going to look at right now, are these guys. Hey guys, how are you? Pinocchio's Daring Journey. This is one of my favorite for the casual Disneyland fan. Again, we think about things that have always been this way. Pinocchio's Daring Journey is only 36 years old.
Oh, is it really?
It was part of the 1983 New Fantasyland. What's wild is that what used to be here was the Mickey Mouse Club Theater, which had the same sort of facade, had the old Renaissance Fair tent facade. And that's actually, it's kind of like what Main Street Cinema is today. You would go in there, it was like 400 seats. There was a theater that had 400 seats.
Wow,
yeah.
That's actually not too shabby.
No, right? And you could watch old Disney shorts, but they're for like 30 minutes, not 5-minute shorts like you can see, or even not even, I don't know how long they are, but like 30-minute shorts at the Fantasyland Theater, and then it was, went from the Mickey Mouse Club Theater to the Fantasyland Theater, and then in '83, Pinocchio's Daring Journey. But to everybody, like, that just seems like, oh yeah, Disneyland opens, Snow White, Mr. Toads, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, boom. Nope.
I mean, I was off too. I thought Alice was one of them, but I was off.
Alice also, that's even later. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It was
earlier.
Later, so 58.
58,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's still really up there, though.
And Ian was saying how they were going to put Alice here, a walkthrough attraction, in this space.
But that didn't pan out.
That didn't work out.
Theater happened.
And then they decided not to make a walkthrough, like so many attractions that start out as walkthroughs.
And then the tech evolved, and we're like, hey, we can do more.
Right. So instead of putting it here, they put it over there on top of, well, they're sharing
Partially
space.
on top of Toads.
Partially on top of the Toads ride, which blows my mind still. To this day, I've asked this question before of Muffins to try to kind of guide me through the attraction, tell me where it is when you're where are you in the Alice in Wonderland when you are on top of Toads? Because that does happen.
I would have to think near like Toji Wood or during the croquet.
Look at her. I just broke her.
Toads is partially, like Alice partially overlaps over Toad.
Yeah.
Never would I ever think like, oh, because I was like, oh, I'm out of the ride, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not knowing really.
Well, think about it.
exactly
Think about where you are when you. How much?
35.
35. Think about where you are when you after you meet the Queen and you go outside and Goofy yells at you. You're upstairs. How did I get here?
You can
Right? Like
once you hit the point where you see like the White Rabbit running, and from there on out, you're slowly
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Once
without
you
even realizing it. You come out of those doors and you're on the second floor and you're like, every time, I'm like, how in the world did we get up here?
Yeah, I really want to like try to like figure it out. Like,
Yeah. So there's Toads, right? If we pull back a little bit, we're not talking about any of the front third of the building. Don't think that you're going to see it here. It's back there, like where that turret is. And you see the
I see
the
this
spire?
spiral. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Alice.
That is Alice. Because
Yes.
see, we have one matching over there.
Right.
That's
See,
part
the
of
Toads ride goes back a ways.
Yeah,
you
so
can't see it.
I'm looking at an image of like the layout of Alice.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it has to be like, I don't know, trying to show us on camera won't work. Looking at this, it would have to be like the paint the roses red scene.
Paint the roses red. Okay.
Because that extends the most this way.
And
it's
then
the highest
and then
top.
the Queen is almost right after that, right? Because it's when you meet the Queen and she says off with her heads that you turn around and you go outside.
It's like,
Wow.
the Toji Wood scene extends out this way, but you're not high enough
Right.
yet.
Maybe we can see next to the bathrooms, like where the Cheshire Cat is, and we kind of walk.
Well,
towards
you
the
may not be
bathroom.
able to see Toads, so the perspective will be
Yeah,
weird,
you
but we
just
can go
see
look.
the backside of the building.
Yeah. So that's why we're here, because you can kind of see it's at that point where that spire is, right there.
The Mad Hatter shop is completely separate, though, right?
Yes. And those are umbrellas. And we go. So that spire is Alice, and it's right around that area that you're kind of making contact with the back half of Toads. Toads goes back a ways. You can't see it. If you get an aerial, you look at an aerial and you can see that Toads isn't just the facade, right? Which is the same for a lot of attractions. You know, Haunted Mansion,
Literally
Pirates.
all rides with the show building.
Right, there's indoor show buildings that you can't even see.
No, we're in the Haunted Mansion.
In that one building? Yes, we are. Guys, I love Fantasyland. That was
I
super
do.
fun. I'm glad that we got to share some of that fun info with you guys. I hope you enjoyed. There's lots more Fantasyland to look at, like Dumbo, that you can't see, but it's on the other side of this camera.
It's magical.
What's that?
It's magical.
It's magical, yeah. One of the things that we often do when we ride Dumbo is we see and hear muffins. I thought I heard one just now, but maybe not. But anyway, so we'll touch on more of this stuff in the future. But thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Fresh Baked. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at FreshBaked Disney. That's Fresh with no E, and on Instagram at _FreshBaked. And then go to our website, guys. We're selling Fresh Baked pins on our website. Do you have one yet? It's got the Fresh Baked logo on a pin. They're great. We can send one to you right now if you order one. So do that, and then we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Fresh Baked.
Bye, Fresh Baked.
There's Ian. Bye, Ian. We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out some of our other videos and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Bake Fresh Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Fresh Baked.